Hi guys, Shelli, Pelly, Annie Parker Confidential. Today we're going to talk fancy dining etiquette. Now that's just kind of a fun way of saying we're going to talk about basic table manners. So whether you're going out on a date, a business meeting, or an informal dinner, these are all really good table manners to know, especially since nowadays a lot of people are a lot more relaxed with their manners and many people don't have basic table etiquette. I want you to be different. I want you to be able to set yourself apart from the rest. So here are 12 very basic dining guidelines that I want to share with you today so that you have these in your arsenal. The general rule of thumb that you want to follow is to just work from the inside out. So this is going to be your salad fork, your meal fork, soup spoon, teaspoon, your knife, cake fork, and your dessert spoon, your bread and your butter server. This is your water glass, your red wine glass, and your white glass. Don't fret if push comes to shove. All you're doing is you're starting from the outside of each and you are working your way in. The wait staff will take care of the white or the red wine depending on what you're having, and they will take away the rest of the glasses. The first thing that you're going to want to do when you sit down at the table, you'll notice that you'll generally have a napkin placed in the center of your plate or sometimes off to the side. You're going to want to place it in your lap with the crease of the napkin facing toward you. Now here's a caveat. If you're wearing a dark outfit, maybe a black dress or something dark, and you want to avoid having any kind of white lint on your outfit, you can always nicely request a black napkin. Simply say, do you have a black napkin, please? If they don't have one, don't make a big deal of it. Just say thank you and move on. Number 2, your smartphone. Turn it on vibrate and please just put it away. It's tacky and it's rude. We've always been told no elbows on the table. That's true with a caveat. It's perfectly fine during the meal to prop your elbows on the table to converse with people before or in between courses. Of course, during the time that you're eating, elbows are never on the table. I mean, come on, just think about it. Here's why. Look at the difference. I'm eating my food, or much more ladylike. Elbows never on the table when you're eating, perfectly fine to prop them in between courses. Cheers! Never clink your glass when you're cheersing. I know, people usually don't know that, but did you know that when somebody is making a toast, when you say cheers, gesture, and then take a sip? There are a couple reasons for that. One, especially with fine stemware, it can damage the stemware. But 2, in a restaurant setting, and especially in fine dining, it's noisy and tacky, and so it's just not done. The proper thing to do is to simply gesture, raise your glass, and take a sip. Number 5, once you've sipped from a glass, you're going to want to sip from the same spot all night. So if I sip from the same spot all night. That's going to keep the rim of the glass as clean as possible without it being a hot mess of lips and lipstick and stains all around your glass. That's just simply proper etiquette. Unique foods like oysters and caviar. So I love oysters on the half shell. I'm a vegan, but sometimes I'll cheat. Generally, they're served on a nice bed of crushed ice, and they're served with condiments, usually a mignonette sauce, which is like a red wine vinegar with shallots in it, a cocktail sauce, and some horseradish. The proper way to eat oysters on the half shell is to simply take your oyster. You may use a little cocktail fork if they provide it. Make sure it's loosened. Put any of the condiments on that you like. Shoot it, and then you're going to place it back into the bed of ice with the shell down to indicate that you've finished the oyster. Caviar service. A lot of fine dining restaurants will have caviar service. It's one of my favorites. I love caviar. When Oliver and I are going out, I say, get your wallet ready because I'm going deep. Caviar service is generally served on either toast points or on bellinis. Bellinis are just a little small, for lack of a better word, a little small pancake. I personally prefer toast points, but it's a preference. It'll be served with condiments, chopped egg whites, crumbled egg yolks, capers, and a little red onion, and some creme fraiche. With the caviar, they should also provide you with a very small mother of pearl spoon that you'll use to spread this caviar on your toast point. With regard to how you serve yourself, you're going going to prepare your toast point or your Bellini one bite at a time. So toast points are usually a few bites. So you're just going to rip off a piece of the toast. I like to spread a little of the creme fraiche, a little dollop of caviar, a little egg white, and a little caper, and then you simply take a bite. You're not going to make the entire toast point at once. That's just proper etiquette. Never announce it. Excuse yourself from the table, go to the restroom. Nobody wants to hear that you're going to the bathroom. But when you're going to the restroom, simply get up and place your napkin on your seat and leave. Oh, I forgot this. Okay, I have a really good friend who told me, you know, when I started going to all these very formal, fancy events and dinners, it was always confusing because there would be a huge line of plates, glasses, dishes, because they were very large events where there were a lot of people. She said I would get confused as to which bread plate is mine and which glass is mine. So here's what she did, and I love this and I use it myself. Put your hands up, take your index finger, put them to the base of your thumb. Your left hand is gonna look like a D. Your right hand is going to look like a B. Cross them, bread plate, drink. So she said she'd go to these fancy events and she's going like this. And I love it because it's something I would do. Put your hands together, cross them. This is your bread plate. These are your drinks. That's just a really easy way to remember it. Speaking of bread, let me grab my bread. I just happen to have this. All right, I made this up. I'm at home, so you guys get the idea. All right, so you know how generally speaking, they'll have a little ramekin of butter and you take your bread from the bread basket and you have your bread. All right, so this is what you're going to do. Now, I notice that a lot of people will take their bread, they'll spoon a bunch of butter, they'll lather it all up, and then don't do that. It's really rude. Not as efficient, but much more elegant. You're simply going to take a little bit of butter, place the butter on the side of your plate, break off one bite of bread, a little bit of butter, and eat it one bite at a time. I know it's not as efficient, but it's much, much more ladylike and etiquette-wise. I know I stuck a piece of bread up there. Who hasn't gotten something in their mouth that they can't swallow? Whether it's a piece of gristle or chicken bone or an olive pit, it happens. When that happens, the general rule of thumb is it comes out of your mouth the same way it went in. So for example, if I'm eating a piece of chicken, eat the chicken, I feel a bone in my mouth. Doing it as quickly and discreetly is the name of the game. I'm simply going to take it out and I'm going to place it on the upper left-hand side of my plate. The upper left-hand side of your plate is where discards go, whether it's a lemon rind that you don't want to eat, chicken bone that you've gotten, it goes in the upper left-hand side. Gristle is a different story. I mean, first of all, it's disgusting. But if you get a piece of gristle in your mouth, quickly and discreetly, pop it into your napkin and put it down. If you're simply resting, your utensils are placed as such. Okay, like that. When you've finished your meal, your utensils are placed at 420 with the fork down on the side of your plate. This indicates that you're finished with your meal and the waiter can take your dinner. When you're finished with the meal and you're ready to leave the restaurant, you're simply going to place your napkin on the left-hand side of your plate and leave. So having good basic table manners in your arsenal sets you heads and tails apart from anybody else, and that's what I want from you. For all things health, wellness, beauty, fitness, style, and healthy living, subscribe to my channel, visit me on the blog, AnnieParkerConfidential.com, and I'll see you on the blog.